Have a look at managing the organization, assessment task 2.1, project 2, the mentoring project. So this particular assessment is all about your ability to mentor and your leadership skills. So your assessor is actually going to link you up with another educator and you're actually going to mentor that mentee. So overall, what you're going to do is you're going to run an initial session where you're getting to know the mentee and figuring out what that mentee's goals are for the future. Then you're going to run 3 additional sessions. 2 of those sessions will be training sessions and the final session will be an evaluation session. And so that would be evaluating what knowledge or skill that mentee has learnt through your leadership and your mentorship. So there's quite a few documents that you'll need to complete as you go through the process. So let's go through those assessments. So starting with Task A talks about the fact that you are going to be partnered up with a mentee and that this particular assessment can take 5 weeks. It depends how many opportunities you get to meet up with that mentee. It can be completed in 3 weeks as well. So one of the important things that you do need to identify with is during this assessment, you will actually be assessed on your skills in communication and your skills in mentoring and teaching your mentee. And there will be checklists that will be completed by your assessor along the way. So the first thing that you need to do is you actually need to confirm a meeting time with your mentee for your first initial meeting. At your first initial meeting, you just want to get to know your mentee and to figure out and discover what it is that they would like to progress with. During your initial meeting, you will need to complete the mentor agreement and plan, and this is going to be completed while you're having your discussion with the mentee. So you have to be really subtle and clever with how you're writing down your information whilst keeping eye contact and engaging with them. So you're going to note down the areas that they are challenged in and would like more support. You're also going to come to an agreement with them for 3 goals. These 3 goals are going to really drive your training sessions with the mentee. Then you're to discuss how often you're going to meet up. So you know that after your initial meeting, you need to have 3 other sessions. So are those sessions going to happen fortnightly, monthly? Are you going to contact them by phone, face-to-face or email? And you want to put the dates of start and finish. And this has to be accurate and specific. Then you're going to put the dates, time and location of each of the 3 meetings. And a lot of these meetings are going to happen in the classroom. Remembering that this is your initial meeting. Meeting 1 and 2 will be training sessions and meeting 3 will be your evaluation session. You're then going to get your mentee and yourself to sign and agree to these terms and conditions, and this is a part of holding responsibility. You may or may not have additional notes. So once you have done that initial meeting, you've had a chat with them and you've arranged another time to meet up with them, you then have to plan your training sessions, and this can take a little bit of time, I would know. So that also comes under Task B. So before you go to your next meeting, which will be your training session, you need to have developed both of these templates. So for your 2 training sessions and your evaluation session, you need to complete a mentor plan and a mentoring meeting agenda. So let's start from the beginning. You've now done your initial session. You've completed the agreement. Now you're planning your training sessions and you have your next training session scheduled, let's say for tomorrow. So you have to fill out one of these forms. In these boxes here, you're going to be writing the goal. So you've got goal 1, goal 2, and goal 3. So I want you to think of it like that. Goal 1, goal 2, goal 3, because those are the 3 that they're going to be working on. So I want you then to complete what the learning objectives are, what questions you might ask in relation to that goal, how will you know if that particular mentee has got reached that goal, and what resources you might be using, so handouts, websites, video links, all of those type of things that you might be using during your training session. And so I want you to fill that out for each goal, each of the goals of your mentee. So you need to fill out one of these. Then before your next session, your first actual training session, you need to fill out the mentor meeting agenda. So you will complete all the details. Once you've planned your training session, you'll be able to identify the areas of discussion, and you're going to take this template into your training session. And then as you perform your training session along with the mentee, if there are any questions or issues or challenges or any notes, you're going to write them in this section. So all of this would already be filled out before the meeting, and then you're going to fill out any issues raised in that section there. Then after your first training session, you're going to write in here if there's any further action that you need to take. So then you've completed your initial meeting and your first training session. Then from here, you need to plan your second training session. So you're going to then fill out another one of these mentoring meeting agenda forms for your second session. Then you're going to conduct your second session. Then you're going to conduct your final session, which is what we call the evaluation session. And you're also going to have a mentor meeting agenda for that session. So let me just get this quite clear. Your first initial session, you're doing the mentoring agreement plan during the initial meeting. Then you're going to complete a mentoring plan based on the 3 goals that you have established with the mentee. Then for every training session, so 2 training sessions and an evaluation session, you're going to have a mentor meeting template filled out prior to the session, and you're taking it into the session and you're adding notes to it if needed during the session. So once you've completed all of that, so your initial meeting and your 3 mentoring sessions, your 2 training sessions and your 1 evaluation, so 4 in total, you're then going to complete your time with your mentee, and then on a Word document, you're going to answer and be reflective and answer these 5 questions about how you went, how you found the mentee went, and maybe any changes or noticeable differences. So you're going to detail and describe each of these 5 questions. So hopefully that's made it quite clear. I'll run through it again very quickly for you. You're going to be meeting up with someone, you're mentoring another person, they will be the mentee. You will have an initial session with them to get to know them and fill out the mentoring agreement plan together. You will establish 3 goals and you will fill out a mentoring plan for those 3 goals privately without the mentee. You'll then run 2 training sessions and an evaluation session. You have to plan those. For each of those sessions, you have to have a mentoring meeting plan prepared before the session, and then you can add notes to it during the session, and you can use it as a lesson plan during the session. Once you've completed all of that, you're actually going to complete all of these 5 questions as a reflective practice. Really enjoy this one, guys. I love this assessment, and I think that it's very valuable for students and also for the mentees. So well done.